have listened to my introduction. The Northern Elders Forum, of which you are a member, are asking that the president should resign because he seems unable to resolve the problem of insecurity in the country. The House of Reps is also asking the president to remove the National Security Advisor and the Minister of Defense. But in a response, the presidency has said, well, President Buhari's resignation will have no effect whatsoever, and that asking him to resign is completely pointless. What do you think?
Right. Thank you very much, Ruben, for having me. So your headlines just tell you and Nigerians the frustrations of everybody. You've just said the parliament in the UK is asking Boris Johnson to resign because he violated COVID protocol. But here we are, the president has violated his constitutional duty and responsibility to Nigerians, which the primary responsibility of any government as enshrined in our Constitution, Section 4, subsection 2b, is to protect us. And on that, this government has woefully failed. And it is that failure that you hear everywhere people voicing their anger and frustration. The Northern Elders Forum did not take this decision lightly. Our people in the North, in the South, is quiet out there. I have been voicing our frustrations on this forum and many other fora about insecurity. A third of my state, Katsina, is under bandits. We did not see IDPs until this government came in. 5 states in the Northwest are no-go areas. You cannot go to Kaduna. People are being killed all across the land. The land is drenched with blood. The president does not talk to us. All we hear are talks from his public relations officers, people we did not elect. We elected President Muhammadu Buhari to protect us, secure this country and protect our lives. On that count, he and his government has failed. So I will go a step further from what the Northern Elders Forum says. Not only President Muhammadu Buhari should resign, but all his government should resign because they have failed. There is no one in this government that will exonerate himself from this failure. Our people are being killed all across the land. We hear nothing from our government. So yes, this call is valid. It's a sign of frustration for everybody. And the earlier he hears that, the better. He has a year to go. If he cannot do it, there are provisions in the Constitution that clearly say if a president is incapable of performing his constitutional duty, he should resign. I'll go further and say the whole government should resign because they have failed to secure this country and protect our people. So I agree with Northern Elders Forum 100%. Thank you, Ruben.
Well, you wrote a piece recently which you titled The Unholy Alliance between Boko Haram and ISWAP. And you were saying in that article, while reflecting on the March 28th attack on the Kaduna-bound train, Abuja to Kaduna train, that you knew immediately, you suspected that this was not the handiwork of ragtag bandits, but that you knew this would most likely be ISWAP, the Islamic State in the West African province. Now, how did you arrive at that suspicion? And you reach a number of conclusions in your piece about how one could easily suspect if the ISWAP is involved or not. And Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information, only on Wednesday, echoed that same sentiment, that investigations revealed that this was the handiwork of bandits and Boko Haram, as he put it.
Right. I mean, I've had the privilege of being in the front seat with Sheikh Dr. Ahmed Gumi and his team. We visited 8 states in the northern states, the forest, to meet with these bandits. 5 in the northwest, 3 in the north central. 8 states, 28 more to go. The purpose is peace, to hear our Fulani folks in the forest and why we are where we are. The moment we saw that, and all through our visit, it's been 2 years, Sheikh Gumi would call me with a sense of urgency that we need to get to these bandits before Boko Haram gets to them. Before Boko Haram gets to them. They do not have the twisted religious ideology that Boko Haram and ISWAP come with. They don't. And all the places we went to, there was not a single place we had these bandits tell us they have grievances with the federal government or the military. All their grievances have always been local, and the solutions must be found local. The moment we had that, I knew this is not the ragtag bandits we saw, vicious and devilish as they are, for several reasons. Number one, they do not have the capability of using explosives. This is the MO of ISWAP. We've seen it in Maiduguri. Currently, Nigerians may not know. The city of Maiduguri, the capital city of Borno State, has been without electricity for 15 months because Boko Haram has exploded the lines inside to Maiduguri. It was fixed and they did it again. So, hitting infrastructure is not the modus operandi of bandits. It's that of Boko Haram. Number one. Number two, when they went into people that escaped, when they went into the carriages, people had them screaming Allahu Akbar and chanting other religious incantations, which is not what these ragtag bandits do. They don't. Number three, we heard reliably that the captives that were taken away from the site, they were conveyed in buses. They were conveyed in buses. This was a premeditated, planned. Bandits do not use buses. They know the terrain. They were conveyed in buses. And the first person that was released, when they came out and was speaking, you could clearly say this is not the dialect of a Fulani in the forest. And what they were saying, they were releasing him on compassionate ground. Well, we know this is the modus operandi of ISWAP, trying to gain sympathy. And they were saying the government know what they want. This is not bandits, the ragtag bandits. They grab people, they get ransom and they disappear. They're all criminals. But Reuben, this is a nightmare for our national security in this country. The marriage between, or any alliance, strategic alliance between these bandits and Boko Haram will be a lethal combination. Boko Haram and ISWAP, they have been wanting to get a foothold in the Northwest. All these years, Nigerians should ask themselves, all these 13 years, even before they picked up arms, they were preaching all across the Northwest. They wanted a foothold in the Northwest, the largest population center region in Nigeria. You remember, they almost blew up the late Emir of Kano. How did they not get foothold in the Northwest? It wasn't for lack of trying, and it wasn't accidental. It was because of the proactive, behind the scene, hard work of traditional rulers and clergy of this region that preached vigorously against Muslim faithfuls in these regions accepting these twisted ideologies of Boko Haram. But now they have gotten what they have coveted for 13 years. They have penetrated the Northwest. In the North Central, in Niger, they are planting their flags. So this is not good. They have the capability of explosives. They have international connection and funding. And these ragtag bandits, they are fearless, drug-fueled. They know the terrain of all our ungoverned spaces. So any marriage between these two will be lethal to Nigeria. And I call on all security agencies and the government to wake up. We are in more trouble than we thought we are. We are more trouble than we thought we are. This is a serious security challenge to this country. We are worse off today than we were 3-4 weeks ago.
Let me ask you quickly about Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. He has been a bit quiet of late. Is he tired of trying to intervene and offering advice to government? since he's your very close associate?
No, he can't be tired. I mean, he is well and healthy, and he is. What we are doing now is quietly. Since they say, "Oh, don't associate with terrorists," what we are doing is quiet. Go to Sheikh Gumi's home every day. People are coming to him and saying, "My relative has been taken. My relative is this. My relative is this." They cannot go to the governor's house. They cannot go to the minister's house. People cannot go to the GOC's house. The cleric is the only person they come to. So yes, every day of his life, he's there. People are trooping. People are talking. He's reaching out to those he can reach out in and out of government. And now is the month of Ramadan. He is dedicated to the preachings in Sultan Bello Mosque. But no, we are not tired. I just came out of a meeting and we're going into meeting. It's not as loud and razzmatazzy as it was before. But giving up or relaxing is a luxury we cannot afford, especially with a government that is not responding.
Well, the president is going to meet with the service chiefs on Tuesday. This week, he met with members of the Council of State, and insecurity was one of the topmost issues. And the advice given is that the president should meet with the service chiefs on Tuesday. Well, we don't know what the outcome of that meeting will be, but we know that some governors have made specific recommendations. The governor of Kaduna State says the way forward is to get mercenaries to help with the prosecution of the war against terrorism. The governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, says people should defend themselves. The governor of Katsina State, your state, is also of the view that self-help, self-defense is the solution. Now, some of those suggestions, wouldn't you consider that a prescription for anarchy? If everybody has to defend himself.
No, Reuben, we are getting there. Unfortunately, for a governor of a ruling party in the state of the president to say, fellow citizens, defend yourself, get arms and defend yourself, tells you a lot. The frustration is way up there. You come to a leader when there is a problem, even if he doesn't have solution, he listens to you, and that calms you down. But all our traditional rulers, all our clerics, all our governors, and our elected representatives in the House and Senate, they're all frustrated. People are saying, buy arms, do this, and get mercenaries. A governor is saying, get mercenaries, after saying they should go and bomb and burn the whole forest. There's so much confusion. There's no control out there. There's nobody to go to when people are in distress. Even governors. So if the governors are frustrated, what do you expect ordinary citizens to be? Reuben, people are in serious trouble. There are a lot of villages you go to, and I will attest to that. I'm from Katsina, and this is a reflection of many of the villages. You go, you pull up 1,000 naira, you go to the village square, nobody can give you change because nobody has it. People are poor. 50 kilograms of rice bag was 14,000, was 7,000 2014. Now it's getting up to 40,000. The minimum wage is 18,000. That is in states that pay minimum wage. That is in people that have jobs. Our people are suffering. The economy in the north has literally now moved into the forest. Moved into the forest because that's where the bandits have hundreds of millions, even billions of naira. Nobody listens to our people. The president doesn't talk to us. The governors are frustrated. And we have endless meetings with service chiefs. We've seen this movie before. Nobody talks to us. We did not vote for Garba Shehu or Femi Adesina. We voted for President Muhammadu Buhari, and it seems we want to see, talk to us, reassure us that this is what is being done. But every day we have Garba Shehu, Femi Adesina talking and annoying the hell out of everybody.
Well, in a few months' time, there will be the 2023 general elections. And some people have expressed concern that the Northeast is troubled, the Northwest is troubled. After the March 28 train incident, there have been attacks in other states, Benue, Plateau, Taraba, Anambra, Ebonyi, series of killings, an orgy of violence across the country. Do you have any fears that all of this may affect the 2023 general elections? Or you think government still has a chance to maintain and ensure peace and stability? Long before then, that is.
So we have been We have been screaming our voices hoarse, but the politicians don't listen to us because they are disconnected from realities of our people. All they are interested in now is scrambling for office 2023. Consensus, zoning, rotation, when the land is drenched with blood. When our land is drenched with blood, our women are being raped, people killed, villages pillaged. Our politicians are only interested in scrambling for office. And I tell them, if you do not have security, 2023 election will be a bridge too far. And I do not see how you can hold credible election in many states. Credible. Yeah, you have election, but how credible are they? How credible are they?
Well,
there cannot be credible elections without security. And we in the Northwest are not going to accept what happened in the Northeast, where you had elections in IDP camps. IDPs line up and vote for this senator, this House of Reps. We are calling on the federal government to bring peace and secure our people so that they can go back home. Election is the least of our problem. We need peace. Our people need to go back home. And politicians need to realize without a nation, without security, they will never have any nation to build, to rule. So they need to wake up.
Well, I get your point. But, this week, the Minister of Defense told us that government is on top of the matter. I'm quoting verbatim now. And Minister of Information told us, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, that government is on top of the situation. And Garuba Shehu, in one of his statements, said that, look, this is an inherited problem, and that, this government is just trying to solve a problem that it inherited, that previous administrations could not address. Do you share, I know you don't share their view, but how about that as some kind of explanation of the efforts of government?
This is insulting to Nigerians, really is. It's insulting to Nigerians. We voted you in to secure this country and protect us. 7 years into an 8-year term, you're giving us excuses. Where is the Minister of Defense? Where is the Minister of Police Affairs? Where is the National Security Advisor? Where is the Minister of Transportation to address the nation after this train disaster? Nobody has addressed the nation. Nobody has seen the family of these victims. Nobody. Nobody. And they're coming to tell us they're on top of this. They've been on top. They've been saying this for God knows how long. We are tired of this propaganda, and we honestly have little or no patience for this political shenanigans. People need to stand up and do the right thing. We did not elect any minister. We elected President Muhammad Buhari. And they are not doing a good job. After the train disaster, nobody has addressed the family. Nobody has addressed the nation. Nobody has told us how many passengers were killed, how many were injured, how many were taken as hostage. Nobody has reached out to the family. And then you're telling us you're on top of the situation. What situation are you on top of? God help us. They have failed. They have failed. The Honorable Minister of Transportation has questions to answer. There was the same bomb attack in October last year. What has been done to prevent this from happening? And if you look at the manifest of the train, 362 tickets were sold. But in the train, there were 970 passengers, 3 times what was sold. This is ticket racketeering. How long has this been going on? And the government of Kaduna State told the nation that they've been writing, based on intelligence, they've been writing to the Nigerian Railway Corporations for them to scrap the 6 o'clock scheduled train to Kaduna because of threat. All these threats were ignored.
Well,
The Minister of Transport, when we hear from him, he is declaring for presidency. Nobody is talking to us after all these failures in same places. All of them will resign. The president will fire them today. Our people are in the forest. Children, women, the aged are in the forest. And we're here talking on top of it. You're not talking to the family. So quit insulting us. We are not in that mood. Nigerians are in a very foul mood. Do the right thing. The 1 year left for you, you better fix this failure. And reach out to people. Talk to us. We voted you in. We voted you in. Now, if your relative is abducted into the forest, you're on your own. You sell whatever you gotta sell. You sell your kidney to get your relative out. This is in a country where we have a president, a standing armed forces, and a police force. You cannot protect us. They're in a vehicle that is the federal government. Kaduna now, the city of Kaduna is literally blockaded. The center of Kaduna, and I want Nigerians to think, if this was Lagos-Ibadan Railroad that was blown apart and people taken into the forest, will the nation be this quiet? Will the nation be this quiet?
Well, Professor Yusuf.
Will the nation be this quiet?
Professor Yusuf, relatives of the
Yes.
kidnapped persons in that March 28 train attack, they held a press conference this week. They also took their case to the National Human Rights Commission. And one of the major statements they've been making is that, one, they want government to help them rescue their people because the terrorists have refused to talk to them. They have refused to negotiate with family members. They're saying that they will only talk to the federal government of Nigeria and that the federal government of Nigeria knows what they want. What could that possibly be? I mean, you visited along with Sheikh Ahmed Gumi 8 states, visiting the bandits and talking with them. Do you have any idea what exactly they want? Because family members are even ready to pay ransom, they say, but nobody is talking to them. What is it that they want from the federal government of Nigeria? Do you have any idea?
Good. So, Ruben, that tells you these are not the ragtag bandits who we know of. They don't ask the federal government to talk to them. They don't even recognize federal government. They don't fight them. They get money and they do their own thing. But once you hear that, it tells you this is not, we're dealing with, they're up in the game. And it is the duty and responsibility of you, Ruben, and all your colleagues in the fourth realm, the media, to call representatives of the government and question them. Ask them, what do these people want? Our goal is to get our people safely out. It is the duty and responsibility of the government to do that. I wouldn't have, because I'm not privy to the intelligence, neither am I in any government. So, but government to come and tell us we're on top of this is insulting us. Instead, what you should come and say is talk to us in a compassionate way and meet the families of these victims. We're on top of it is a political language that we have no patience for. So, Ruben, to answer your question, I do not know. And this just tells you this is not a regular ragtag bandits. The government knows, as they say, ask the government.
Okay, well, finally, before we wrap this up, I would just like to take your comments about, the political field at the moment. You refer to people who have been declaring their interest in the presidency of Nigeria in 2023. When you look at the field so far, from one party to the other, PDP, APC, the other political parties, even NNPP, being led by Senator Rabiu Kwankwanso, what's your take? Who do you think is best suited for that crown in 2023 from the persons who have shown interest so far, even before the party primaries?
Ruben, I just raise my hands in prayers that God Almighty give us a leader that will get us out of this mess. I do not see that in the horizon. Anybody in this government, currently in this government, cannot exonerate him or herself from the mess that they put us in the ditch. They have been in this government for 8 years. They come in for us to vote them in. We'll ask them why. How are we going to vote for you? Why? And unfortunately, I had Mr. Vice President in his declaration. He made a statement that lost the election for him. The statement he said was that he is going to continue what President Muhammad Buhari has been doing, or what President Muhammad Buhari has been doing. I said, really? Go to Pasari, go to Kankia, go to Jibia, go to Faskari in Katsina, or go to Zamfara and tell them, I'm going to continue what President Muhammad Buhari has started. So, and the Minister of Transportation, the only crown jewel of his ministry in the north is there laying on one side. This train. What is he going to tell us his achievement? So for this government and APC, it's going to be very difficult because you have a record we will interrogate when the time comes. You did not secure us. We are poorer than we were when you came. We are less secure than we are when you came. And corruption is thriving a lot more. These are the tripod you came on. So don't change anything and tell us you're going to bring another 5-point plan or 6-point plan. You have failed as a government and as a party. You have a year to fix whatever you can, and we will vote you out, inshallah.
Well, on that note, Professor Usman Yusuf, I would like to thank you very much for joining us today on This Day Live, this Sunday talk show. Thank you very much indeed. Well, it's